Hey Lions fans, it's Aliyah Funschelle from GoColumbiaLions.com. We're outside today with head coach Al Bagnoli talking about Saturday's game against Marist. Coach, thank you so much for being here.
No, my pleasure. Thank you.
So, first game in 664 days. What are the feelings surrounding this?
That's hard. When you put it in days, it's hard to even get your arms around that. A combination of excitement, a combination of a little bit of apprehension. Not really knowing what to expect going into it, but certainly thankful that our kids have prepared the way they have, and that we are having a season. It was taken away from us. And I think anybody who's had something significant taken away from them, once you get it back, you certainly have a greater sense of appreciation. So uh, all of those emotions, I think, are going to carry through not only with me, but I think our entire roster and our entire coaching staff.
Yeah, and let's just talk about the game on Saturday. This is the first time in 22 years that you're going against another team that is also having their season debut. So, what's that going to be like?
Again, that's going to be different because it's either a good news, bad news scenario. The good news is we generally have some film to look at. The bad news is they've already been in at least one, if not two or three games. So they've already had a chance to iron out all their first game jitters. So again, it's going to be different. It's going to be both teams coming in with zero contests in 2020 and not having played in a significantly long period of time. So it'll be interesting to see which team adapts the quickest to the pace of the game and can kind of settle in the fastest.
Yeah, and can you talk a little bit about your approach to practices? You said there's definitely a competitive edge in practice. So, what have your practices been like, and what's your approach to that?
Yeah, I mean, I think they've been spirited. We have competition at every single position, which has been great. It's forced kids to go out there and try to compete every day and at a high level. So I think that's been the way we chosen to go. And really, when we looked at it, we've had such few opportunities because we didn't have a spring. So we had to make decisions. We had to fast forward everything that we were trying to do within the scope of 25 practice opportunities in preseason. So we certainly took the ploy of every practice counts, every period within every practice counts, every opportunity and every drill counts, and that we're going to make decisions just based on how well collectively we can go through those 25 practices and see who's done the best.
Yeah, and even though it's a competitive nature in practice, I've heard some of the players say this is the closest they've ever felt to a team before. So, how is this team gelling together despite all of the adversity they've had to go through?
Yeah, I mean, the chemistry has been outstanding. The leadership has been outstanding. And I think some of it has been driven by the pandemic. It's forced kids, to be together more. We had 80 plus kids here for majority of the summer, which is really almost the entire upperclassmen. So it's kind of forced them to collectively gather. It's forced them to overcome challenges, caused by the pandemic, and it's forced them, I think, to be a lot more resilient than they've been forced to be in the past. So I think all this has contributed, to mentally being in a really good place with the locker room, with the chemistry, and us as a team respecting and liking each other.
And what have you seen out of the guys with their work ethic? I mean, so many of them are practicing as it could be their last down because they know what it's like to have it taken away. So, what have you seen in their work ethic this season that may be different than years past?
Yeah, again, I've seen it over the summer. It's an really, and again, it goes back to what I said earlier. It's an appreciation that you get to do something that, if you're not careful, you take it for granted, and when you don't have it, suddenly you become a lot more appreciative of doing it. So they've approached it a lot differently, and we've had enough super seniors or 50-year kids that really are just very respectful of everything that's happened and anxious to really parlay their last year, and they've kind of driven the ship, because again, it's a combination of the finality of what they're going through and also not being able to experience something that they've always had to experience and have learned to enjoy and love.
And what do you like about your leadership this season? I mean, a lot of leaders, the captains, but also leaders that maybe aren't captains. What do you like about
Yeah,
your
no, again,
leadership?
that's been the best part. That's, we obviously have four captains that are very accomplished leaders, but it's not limited to them. We have kids that I think kids greatly respect, that are upper class kids, seniors, and fifth year kids. And we also have a bevy of younger kids. And, we created a leadership council on top of our captains, that also has some underclass kids in there to give them a platform, to lead and kind of, be that segue from coaches to players. So I really like where we are as a team right now. And we're excited what happens, and what we're looking forward to on Saturday. So we're cautiously optimistic, but honestly, our kids have prepared great and have had so many things thrown at them and overcome the adversity and the challenges put in front of them.
And last question, I just have to ask. We're entering this season. You're the winningest active head coach in FCS right now. What's your coaching philosophy? What are you bringing to the season?
Again, it really hasn't changed,
Yeah.
and again, you're in coaching because, you enjoy the opportunity to make a difference in kids' life. And you enjoy the interaction that you have with kids and the ability to provide them with some things that are going to be meaningful to them, not just in terms of a football game or one loss record, but, life lessons that hopefully are going to make them a better son or a better husband or a better father, or, whatever we're talking about. And, be able to better handle some of the ebb and flows of the real world when you have good days and bad days and you have failures and you have successes. So that's the thing that keeps me getting out of bed, and I really kind of enjoy working with younger kids and trying to get all of those off the field things across to them as well. And then obviously the competitive aspect of it keeps you young. So you're trying to compete and make sure you give your kids the very best opportunity to be successful on the field. And hopefully, that's something that we've done a good job with, as a staff. It's not just me, but, those are the things that I think we're always trying to get across to our kids.
Yeah, well, I love that. And Coach, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah,
And good
thank
luck on
you.
Saturday.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me.
All right, thanks for watching, Lions fans. Make sure to stay up to date on all things Columbia athletics at gocolumbialions.com.